I wanted to do a video trying to be accurate and helpful. I've seen videos by healthcare providers, physicians that are trying to be calm and collective, and I understand why. That they want to make sure that they don't breed hysteria or inappropriate responses, that they don't shine light on organizations or systems that are trying their best, that they themselves don't show weakness or shine doubt on themselves as far as whether or not they can go in there and do the right thing in the right way. But I think that we have an urgent need to really break down and show some of the stuff that we're going through, okay? And it's a human thing, and I'm hoping to connect with people by doing this personally. Hospitals, they are businesses, even if they run for no profit. They have to have financial solvency. So many of the things that they do, the decisions they make, the timing has got to be so that the end result is self-perpetuating. Okay, the business has to keep running. Non-elective surgeries often will fund the things that they are doing, including taking care of people who are uninsured. We don't have time to talk about how we could have redesigned the hospital system or healthcare or anything like that. We have what we have, and we're trying to work within that system. But as you know, once elective, non-elective surgeries kind of take a second, and then things like procedures are not as timely. And once the hospital themselves have to expand their hospital capacity by using areas that are reserved for transition and transient locations for patients, like pre-op and post-op and endoscopy and cath labs, once ICUs have to expand their bed capacity by putting 2 patients in one room, one critical care room, using critical care equipment and critical care staffing, you know that hospital is reaching not just maximum square footage problems, but maximum resources, both manpower and otherwise. That's happening throughout the valley. And when we get phone calls that tell us that a patient shows up and cannot be treated there and has to move someplace else, oftentimes that happens within a hospital system, that they have to move within their sister hospitals. But lately, they've been moving from within systems and between systems. So major organizations helping each other out. And lately, in the last just few days, they're moving from city to city, major cities, not just small cities and rural cities, but major cities. And if a patient shows up, like last night, needing something like last night, this dialysis patient had missed a treatment. We don't need to know why. Had needed dialysis and an admission and an evaluation, could not get a bed at that location or any location in the valley. And what was offered was a transfer to Tucson, which would be 2.5 hours away. And he refused this transfer. We do not know why he refused exactly, and he may not be able to express himself. Maybe he just feared going that far away from home if he thought maybe he'd die. Maybe he's not really right of mind because he's missed dialysis. Maybe he has baseline dementia, like a lot of patients who suffer chronic illnesses or have other comorbidities. But for whatever reason, he refused. Now, this is a man that, given extenuating circumstances, has a high probability of dying, but represents also a group of patients who are at risk. My patients, our dialysis patients. These patients may miss, may not miss, may have new problems. They come to the ER seeking attention and help because they've been told to go to the ER and seek attention and help. Because if they stay at home, they will die for sure. So they seek help and they cannot get a room at the inn. That means there is a high probability of a certain patient population that will die, simply because we do not have timely space and availability and resources. I've spent my entire life becoming a doctor, setting aside things for myself so that I could learn and understand and experience and translate that experience into something that would be a feasible plan, individualized. And in the last 15 years of this career, I have been a shepherd to hundreds of dialysis patients. And the idea that they're just going to come in, get what they can get, and maybe die it flushes away just about everything that we do every single day to make sure that they make it to a birthday, make it to a holiday, and stay independent and prosper. It flushes away a person. And I cannot tell you how that breaks my heart. And you need to know it has nothing to do with shedding some pour light on a system, organization, a country. I just don't care. I only care that you know that people will die if we do not stop the whining, the bickering, the blaming, and just see what is happening. We are running out of time. And you think, well, I'm not a dialysis patient. It's not that. I told my husband, it's a car accident, it's a stroke, it's a chest pain, it's an infection, it's anything. You will be shut out and you will suffer or die. My dialysis patients, they do not have the luxury of minutes, days, weeks, okay? Whatever they need, they tend to need immediately. They become unstable and untransferable. So we cannot allow a system to exist that cannot provide care after all we've done to keep these people happy, alive, well, engaged. My tears are not because I'm not going to wipe them away and go in there and be a doctor and take charge and make responsible and thorough decisions. I have done that every day of my life. I have done that every day as a doctor. I've done that every day this week. There's nothing about that that's going to change. My tears are because if I do not tell you and you believe that this is not real and sit and complain about cold food or wearing a mask or schools being delayed or try to make an argument about how we don't care about child development or it's really only these people, not these people, or how come we can't explain this country or their success or their failure, I think you're missing the point. Okay, this is a biological problem. Blood, guts, and sweats, it's all the same. A virus does not care. It will come for someone at some point and look around you. It'll come in waves. It'll come from city and state to city and state. We're either behind or ahead. We're either coming at it again or getting out of one, kind of. I don't know everything that needs to be done. I do know that we all need to be on the same page about doing something that's constructive about preventing the chaos inside the hospital. And if you argue that COVID does not tip the scales at the hospital, that is emphatically wrong. The number of cases of COVID occupying, that diagnosis occupying the hospital is unacceptable, okay? There is not room for any other disease because this one is consuming just enough to be a full-on focus of everything we're doing right now. That happened in New York and we didn't listen. That is happening in Florida and we deny it. That is happening in Texas. That is happening in Arizona. It is happening. And it cannot be allowed. We need to expand so that we can continue providing American medicine. Top-notch medicine, top-notch simplicity, executed perfectly. This is get what you can get, make do with what you got, MASH units, and wartime. And if that's all that America has, because collectively that's all we've gathered, fine. Go to bed. But I dare say it is not everything you've given us. And so please, for the sake of anyone you will soon know that has this problem, or yourself because you're at risk, don't make decisions that somehow negate the reality of this. This is happening, and you're going to get some of it. Please. we care about you. We love you. As long as I'm healthy and well, I will take care of you. And I will make a plan and protect you. But it breaks my heart if I cannot shield my patients from the disaster that's happening here and I do not have any help.